Hello, everyone. I started this class. Nadine was here. I'm talking away, and I forgot to share my screen. So we're going to do a brief go through it again here for symbols and signs, and Nadine's being nice and allowing me to do that. Oh, well, it's been quite the week here at my home. I could tell you that. Things blowing up and falling and crashing. And so, what's one more
Oh my
thing?
goodness, you're honest. Station
Ah,
direct. Yeah, they said that was to be prepared. Breakthrough or
yes,
breakdown.
yes. Lots of stuff
Okay.
going on. So, yeah, it went direct yesterday and I felt it. So, I won't go through this a lot. There's the agenda. We did a quick review last time. This is what we talked about. Um, Houses, planets, signs, the cusps of the stage door leading in to the next house. Um, and we won't go into that a lot more. Review the house meanings, and if you want a copy of this astrology basics, it has houses and a lot of other information in it. So just let me know and I'll get that to you. Zodiac signs and symbols. We're going to talk about the zodiac signs and the glyphs that are used in the charts. And here we are back again at zodiac sign meanings. So I throw a little bit extra in these basics classes than what a normal basic class um, can be because I've taken a lot of them and I found that for me I needed more than that because I had trouble just memorizing everything at first, everything about Aries, and every thing about this. But if I looked at patterns, that it made it easier for me to look at the chart, just like in the beginning one for houses, looking at patterns in hemispheres or quadrants can show you something about a person without knowing what everything means in the chart. You can say, okay, that the Western Hemisphere, oh, yada da. Okay, I know a little bit about them in a way without knowing as much. So I want to do that again with the zodiac signs. So I'm going to start with Aries. Naturally in the first house, there's the glyph. And Aries is, of course, a fire sign. It's a pioneer and a fire starter. And on the other side, the flip side, it can be hot-tempered. Um, Next is Taurus. And Taurus is an earth sign, which is dependable, grounded, stable, resourceful. If there's something on the flip side, you might say stubborn. Um, Gemini, air sign, capable, multitasker, intelligent, adaptable, maybe on the flip side, scattered. And then a water sign, Cancer, receptive, empathic, very nurturing, domestic and security minded, but on the flip side, could be controlling. So when I go through these, I want you to notice there's a pattern forming. So we had fire, earth, air, water. And what do we come up to next? Fire, earth, air, water. It's a pattern that repeats in the circle so that, these are in their natural houses. But if Aries showed up in the seventh house and you couldn't remember if right down the road, Cancer is up here, but is that a water sign or whatever? You could say, okay, fire, what, go through that. Remember fire, earth, air, water. It's a lot easier to remember that than remember everything, all 12 and what they are if you look at the cycle. So, Leo, fire sign, heart centered leader, an actor, attention seeking. And if you want to look at that other side, it could be um, maybe egotistical or always wanting to be front and center in front of everyone else. Virgo, or earth sign, organized, detail oriented, healer, flip side can be critical. Libra, we're moving on to air again in that pattern, Libra is balanced and they like harmony and beauty and they're fair, but on the other side, they might be shallow or indecisive. And then water, Scorpio. So Scorpio is intense. It can be magnetic, it can be powerful and psychic. It could also, on the flip side, be jealous. All right, so we had our fire, earth, air, water, and we're moving back into fire. Sagittarius, playful and cultured and adventurous. On the flip side, they could be delusional, which is kind of extreme, but it might just be prone to exaggeration. Capricorn, earth, long-term planner, ambitious. A healer on the other side might be resentful. Air, Aquarius, air sign, brilliant, inventive, unpredictable on the flip side, or maybe detached on the flip side. And last, there's another water sign in that pattern of fire, earth, air, water. Pisces, the last zodiac sign. Intuitive, compassionate, charitable, mystical. On the flip side, might be deceptive. So remember the pattern, and that will help you as you get started learning more about each sign. Okay. So in the pattern that we just saw, those are called elements, the fire signs, the earth signs, the air signs, the water signs. So even if you can't remember to begin with all of the attributes of Aries or the attributes of Taurus and so on, you might think, okay, fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Fire signs express energy through action, through passion, and through inspiration. So just if it helps you, maybe just start out saying, okay, I'm going to learn the elements first, which might seem backwards to the way other people might train it, but it makes sense to me, and I'm just offering other ways to learn that might be easier for one than it is for another. Um, So then earth signs are the Taurus, the Virgo, and the Capricorn. And they express energy through that Taurus stability, the Virgo practicality, and that Capricorn way of building things. Okay, air signs. So that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And in those, they express through thought, through communication, and through connection. And water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, who express through that Cancer emotion, Scorpio intuition, and Pisces sensitivity. Another pattern when you're looking at a chart that you can look for is that fire is always opposite air. Earth is opposite water. So when you go around the wheel, you say, okay, here's Taurus, so the opposite is water. Okay, Gemini, opposite is fire. Okay, here's water. So, I mean, it's earth opposite water. It's always going to be that way throughout the wheel. Now, the caveat to that would be that, in the Placidus system, uh, all the houses aren't equal. So, there could be times where it's not exactly across, but it's going to be across because your signs might be in two houses. So if most of it's in one, it'll be in most of the other. So that is the caveat of having Placidus, which is what I teach. But generally speaking, that's going to be the case when you look around the wheel. They're going to be opposite each other. Okay, so the other thing about the signs the zodiac signs is that you've got the elements, but another piece of that is modalities or modes. So these zodiac signs are still in the same order on the wheel. There's Aries, there's Taurus, there's Gemini, there's Cancer, and so on. But within each element of fire, earth, air, water, the signs are also designated as cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Now, I know this is kind of really adding another layer to that. You may not be ready for it, but it's another way to look at the chart. Even if you don't remember what it means, it's another pattern within the chart. So, um, with the elements, there's four of them. So it's like one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four. With the modes, there's just three different modes. But each sign has, or each element has a cardinal sign and a fixed sign and a mutable sign. And when you go around the wheel, it'll be, okay, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So it goes around more in a quadrant. In each quadrant, there'll be, um, it may not be because it depends on where the sign is in your chart, but in their natural element, their natural order in the houses, that's how it's laid out. But no matter where they are, if Aries is here, it's going to be cardinal, fixed, mutable. If Aries is here, it's going to be cardinal, fixed, mutable. And I hope I'm not being too confusing for beginners when they watch this. But it's another way that you see patterns in a chart, which I find fascinating. Patterns, I like patterns. Another way to look at it that isn't just memorizing everything about a sign or a house. So cardinal signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I'm sorry. Cardinal signs, which are Aries in fire, Capricorn in earth, Libra in air, and water in Cancer. And so cardinal signs are more action oriented, more geared to take initiative. The fixed signs are Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And those are more unyielding, more determined, more focused, harder to change. They can change, but it's just harder sometimes. Mutable signs are Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces. And they're more of the versatile and resourceful and open to change. And all of these do play out when you learn the meanings behind each of the signs. But I'm just breaking it down into little pieces first. Okay, so let's go back and we'll talk more about, we'll kind of merge some of these things that we've been talking about. Nadine, I know you know the signs well. So for beginners, what I'm doing is showing you, okay, this is Aries the Ram. There's their glyph again. And it shows you they're a fire sign. So remember, fire opposite air and earth opposite water. Aries is, they're bold and enthusiastic and adventurous spirits. They want to be in charge and take initiative, and they're passionate, and they can inspire others. And on that flip side, they can be hot-headed. Maybe you want to ram those horns into something. So what's next? We had a fire sign. So we're going to go, and next around the wheel is Taurus and Earth, Taurus the bull. That's, kind of that flip side stubborn part of the Taurus, but they are determined, but they're reliable and very loyal. Um, but they can struggle with being stubborn sometimes. Okay, so we had Earth moving over to air, which is Gemini, the twins. There's the glyph again in the air, and they're the great communicators, excellent communication skills, and very adaptable. Socially, they can navigate different groups with ease because they're very curious and they want to explore a variety of interests and ideas. I've had conversations with a Gemini that I know, and sometimes it's just like from one thing to another, and one question leads to another, and it's just so interesting to see how their mind works. I love conversations with Geminis. Okay, so and air. So the next one is going to be water, water, Cancer, the crab, the nurturer, very emotional. There's the glyph, it's in water. Um, they often prioritize their loved ones' needs, their family's needs, their close friends' needs over their own, but they have an emotional depth that lets them connect and empathize with others. Again, on that flip side, if on the negative side, if there were one, it might be that they might try to control those other people. Then moving back into fire, there's the Leo glyph, the lion, very confident. They are also natural born leaders, like in Aries, but they kind of radiate confidence and charisma. They're that actor on the stage that knows their part very well. And they can draw others in. They're inspirational, um, and inspire loyalty. They've got very warm hearts and they shine very brightly in any crowd. Leo the lion. Okay, so now we're going back to Earth, Virgo, the Virgin. Very analytical, they're detail oriented, very practical, and they can excel in various fields because they're so analytical and they can just see things how they should be. They're reliable and diligent in every aspect of their life, depending on what their chart says. But I guess on the flip side, then maybe they can be critical. Okay, so air, moving around the wheel again into air. Libra, the scales, justice, balance, harmony. They're charming, diplomatic, and they like harmony in their relationships. They can see both sides of an argument, try to be the mediator in the middle. So they're always trying to balance the scales in social situations. They like beauty. On the other side, they might um, be waffle maybe on making decisions. Okay, going back up to water, just keep repeating that pattern in the wheel. Scorpio, the scorpion. Scorpios are known for their depth of emotion and they can be magnetic, very intense. So they do draw others in, and that intensity might be good, it might be bad. They can be captivating, they can also be enigmatic. So um, depends on the side that is coming out in them, but definitely passionate and intense and very intuitive. Okay, let's go back to fire. Sagittarius, the archer, optimistic and adventurous, and they thrive on new adventures, new experiences, new knowledge. They want to be free to explore the world around them. If on the negative side something shows up, then they can, mm, I want to say, like might have a tendency to exaggerate. And back down to earth. There's the glyph, the goat. Strong, disciplined, ambitious. They will pursue their goals to the end in a grounded, very practical way, until they decide to pursue something else, and then they'll do the same with that. Um, they can be critical on the other side. So, earth, going back to air in the wheel, Aquarius, the water bearer, which when I was beginning, it just did not make sense to me that this was an air sign. It's Aquarius, it's a water bearer. He's pouring water, but the nature of it is why, because they're known for their ideas and social causes and creativity, but they're communicating all this. And trying to improve the world around them. All right. So, Pisces, the end of the zodiac, the last sign, that's the symbol, and it's the fish. So, they have a lot of empathy, very strong intuition. They can connect with you on a very deep level. Flip side, um, maybe deceptive, I would say. So this has been went really fast. Is there anything that you would like to say, Nadine, or comment on or go back to?
Not really.
Okay.
Um, you and I both have some Sagittarius, so we know
Yes.
um, where Sagittarius Jupiter is very generous and it expands. So in thinking of what the shadow side is that, yeah, the over exaggeration or the over enlargement of a story or of a perspective or something growing too much out of hand or a Sagittarius getting um having too many coals in the fire. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
overly.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, the one thing I'd think of for Pisces, you had delusion. I mean, for
For
Sagittarius, you had
Sagittarius.
delusion, but
Mhm.
Pisces is the sign of delusion more.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And let's see, I'd have to see the slide again. But yeah, there's it's interesting that each sign does have shadow parts that we don't really want to know.
We don't want to know, but we need to know, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, everyone
So,
has that side.
so it's interesting. Yeah, and it's very cyclical and there's patterns, and this is interesting that you're pointing that out.
Thank you.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Well, this will be a short class tonight. So let me remind everyone, uh, the next class this month, I'm excited about it. Tiffany Harelik's going to be teaching it, and it's a breakdown to breakthrough on that Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees, and talking with you about reading about that in your charts, helping you get through that. And then in March, the beginner is on Sun and Identity. And March 25th is mundane astrology. And the Aries chart of the USA, still with Celeste Brooks. And many of you know her. She's taught classes, and you've probably seen some of her work in other places too. So that'll be fun. If you have someone that's interested in learning about astrology and they want beginner classes, you can get a referral bonus for referring them. If someone joins, you just send me an email and says, "Hey, my friend joined," and you'll both get your third month free. There's no coupon necessary. You don't have to do anything extra. I'll just make it happen. And if they're concerned because they've missed a couple of basic classes, no worry, I will open up those first two classes for them so they can catch up to where we're going.
That's nice.
Um,
Oh, I just wanted to say Aquarius. Yeah, also, I had the same thing with Aquarius. Like, I didn't understand why the symbol was a water bearer, but it was an air sign when I, way back when I was, learning these rudiments of astrology. But the main reason to think about it is because they're reaching out and communicating through the air, their ideas. It's all air signs are intellectual and they're more about it is more about the communal and the collective, but also to think about air waves and frequency. So that's how I can think about Aquarius a little bit more as an air sign instead of just the picture of someone with a water pitcher. They're just standing in the water. It doesn't mean they're of the water. Um,
right.
yeah, and frequency. It's all about the waves and the
Oh, yeah.
frequency. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
And I guess if you think about the water bearer, they're like bringing nourishment to other people. So,
Mhm.
I mean, if you think about it that way, they are bringing things to the collective, like you said, to
Yeah, and I wanted to
people.
mention my thoughts about it because right now we're in Aquarius, so it's a really
Yes.
important, it's the hard, for me, it is the hardest sign to wrap my head around, and for personal reasons, and and it is Aquarius right now, and we have a lot of planets in Aquarius right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
so it is very impactful right now.
It
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is definitely. Okay, so you can always email me at juliemayastro@gmail.com. My website's juliemayastrology.com. Uh, Dr. Sally Nazir, who is a member of our group. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Perfect timing. The class went fast and we were just to promote you.
Oh, and you too.
So she's hosting a wholehearted convergence summit, and it's a gathering about the Saturn Neptune threshold. So she's part of the group. Several of the speakers are part of our group. So I hope you can tune in. It's academy.drsallinazari.com/WHCS for Wholehearted Convergence Summit. So it's free. Register if you can't be there, no problem. She'll have it recorded and send that out. Is there something you'd like to say about it more?
Thank you for that, and thank you so much for the invitation to the group. You know, one of the things that had me so excited are actually the voices that will be here. I think it, of course, is a moment that's on our minds and that we're already kind of experiencing and feeling. But what's so special about this particular gathering for me are really the voices. So, Julie, I can't wait for your topic in particular. I think we'll have just such a wonderful day of different pieces that we can bring in. So if you can't attend live, that's okay. We will have a replay for a period of time, and if you wanted to pop in and out, it would be such a joy to share this moment together. I think in this community where I myself, this is my lineage, so it's so meaningful to share this space.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad you popped in at just the perfect moment. Because we've had a moment we started, well, we don't need to go back. I wasn't showing my screen at the very beginning, so I had to go back and start over. So, woo, it's been one of those days.
Yes, it
Um,
has. And that's okay. We're
yes,
going to ground ourselves back into our
yes, we
bodies for the
are.
day.
So tomorrow I'll be sending out the recording for everyone. Stop the share there. And again, if you have any questions or you want to refer someone, let me know. Thank you both for showing up. And for those of you who couldn't make it, you'll get the record. So thank you all. Hope you have a great night. Sorry, it wasn't a longer class, Sally.
Sure,
Good
thanks,
job.
Steve.
Keep up the good work. And it's nice to see the overview. Okay,
Um,
I'm going to say goodbye.
all
Thanks.
right.
Thank
Night.